Hey everyone! If you're 60 years of age or beyond and currently collecting Social Security or Medicare, there are funds sitting within the system at this moment designated for you, not funds you could potentially become eligible for later. Funds you've already earned, already contributed to, already accumulated through decades of employment, and that the government will silently retain indefinitely unless you understand how to request them. The Social Security Administration won't contact you when something is available. It won't mail a notice outlining your choices. And certain items I'm going to discuss today have deadlines that pass silently without notification, after which those funds are permanently lost. Today, I'm walking through 5 particular payments that a large portion of seniors are eligible for right now and are not collecting. I'll explain precisely who is eligible, what the payment amounts to, and the single action required to secure each one. Before we dive in, subscribe to this channel immediately and activate the bell. The regulations surrounding Social Security and Medicare shift every single year, and when they shift, nobody outlines your updated choices. The people subscribed here learn about changes before the funds disappear. The ones who aren't typically learn after the cutoff passes. Subscribe now and let's dive in. Payout number 1, the spousal benefit. And I want to begin here because this is the area where the difference between what people are collecting and what they're actually owed is greatest in dollar amounts. If your spouse has claimed Social Security and their monthly payment is higher than yours, you could be eligible to collect up to 50% of their payment rather than or on top of your own smaller check. For a spouse collecting $2,400 monthly, that's a potential spousal payment of $1,200 each month permanently. And the Social Security Administration doesn't arrange this automatically. It doesn't cross-reference the two records and deliver you the greater amount. You must apply for it independently, and millions of couples never do. The most frequent reason this remains unclaimed is that people believe Social Security managed it when they filed. It didn't. Your individual retirement payment and any spousal payment you might be owed are two distinct claims handled independently. If you're presently collecting a payment based solely on your own work record and your spouse collects a significantly higher check, it's worth a direct phone call to SSA at 1-807-722-1213 to inquire specifically whether a spousal benefit supplement applies to your case. Have both of your Social Security numbers ready. This phone call takes roughly 20 minutes and it could lead to a permanent boost to your monthly income. Payout number 2, the survivor benefit switching strategy. This one pertains to widows and widowers, and it's one of the most regularly missed strategies in the complete Social Security system. When a spouse dies, the surviving partner becomes eligible to collect up to 100% of the deceased's Social Security payment if it exceeds their own. The average monthly survivor payment in 2026 is $1,863. Most widows and widowers understand this at a fundamental level. What virtually nobody understands is that survivor benefits can start as early as age 60, and that there's a strategy built around this that SSA will nearly never describe unless you directly ask. Here is how it functions. A widow or widower hour can start collecting survivor benefits at 60, receiving a reduced sum while leaving their own individual Social Security retirement payment entirely untouched. Their own payment keeps growing at 8% annually past full retirement age until age 70 when it hits its maximum. At that moment, they transition from the survivor payment to their own, now considerably larger retirement payment. Or if the survivor payment is greater at that moment, they remain on it. The household receives income throughout their 60s while maintaining the opportunity to secure the highest possible lifetime payment at 70. People who never file for survivor benefits early because they intend to wait until 70 for their own payment forfeit years of income they could have been collecting. These two options are not mutually exclusive. SSA doesn't describe this combination. You have to understand to ask. Payout number 3, the IRMAA appeal. This one is for people who were higher earners, and it concerns a Medicare surcharge that most people don't understand they can remove. If your income surpassed $19,000 as a single filer or $218,000 as a married couple in 2024, Medicare is billing you extra in 2026 above and beyond the standard $22.90 Part B premium. These surcharges, called IRMAA, range from an additional $1,148 to $6,936 per person per year, depending on your income bracket. They come out of your Social Security check automatically before you ever receive it. Here is where it becomes important. SSA determines IRMAA using your tax return from 2 years prior. That means your 2026 surcharge is based on your 2024 income. If your circumstances have shifted since then, if you retired, if you sold a property, if you had any one-time income event that temporarily elevated your earnings, if your spouse passed away, you could be paying a surcharge based on income you no longer have and no longer generate. The solution is a single form called SSA 44. It exists specifically for people who have undergone a qualifying life-changing event: retirement, reduced hours, loss of a pension, death of a spouse, divorce. You submit it with documentation of your present income. SSA evaluates it, and the surcharge gets lowered or removed. A successful appeal can recover between $1,148 and $6,936 per person per year. Most people paying these surcharges have never learned that an appeal process exists. Download SSA 44 at ssa.gov or obtain it at any Social Security office. Payout number 4, WEP and GPO corrections. If you spent part of your career in a position that had its own pension and did not contribute into Social Security, teaching, public safety, federal civil service, this one could apply to you directly, and there could be money owed to you right now that you haven't yet collected. The Social Security Fairness Act, signed into law in January 2025, removed 2 rules called WEP and GPO that had for decades reduced or removed Social Security payments for people who also collected a government pension. The removal was retroactive to January 2024, meaning SSA owed back payments to affected recipients covering 2024, as well as ongoing higher monthly payments moving forward. SSA has been processing these corrections throughout 2025 and into 2026 and has already distributed billions in back payments. The average one-time retroactive payment for affected recipients has been roughly $6,710. Monthly payments have risen by an average of $360 per month permanently. However, not everyone who is affected has had their case completely processed, and some people who are owed these corrections have not yet noticed the adjustment in their check. If you collect or previously collected a government pension from a position where you didn't contribute into Social Security as a teacher, firefighter, police officer, or federal employee, and your Social Security payment was lowered under the old rules, phone SSA at 1-8077-21213 and ask specifically whether your account has been revised under the Social Security Fairness Act and whether any retroactive payment is outstanding on your record. Payout number 5, your Medicare Advantage OTC benefit. This one differs from the others because it doesn't require a phone call or an appeal. It simply requires you to verify something you probably haven't verified. If you're enrolled in a Medicare Advantage plan, which approximately half of all Medicare recipients are, your plan almost certainly includes what's called an over-the-counter benefit. This is a monthly or quarterly allowance deposited onto a prepaid card or account that you can use on health-related items without a prescription. Vitamins, pain relievers, cold medicine, dental care products, first aid supplies, blood pressure monitors. The specific list varies by plan, but the coverage is real and the amounts are substantial. The average OTC benefit across Medicare Advantage plans in 2026 is over $400 per year. Some plans offer $1,200 to $2,400 or more annually. According to CMS data, approximately 70% of these benefits go unused every year, about $5 billion sitting in accounts that expire without being utilized. The most common reason is straightforward. People enrolled in Medicare Advantage don't realize the benefit exists, or they received a card in the mail and didn't comprehend what it was for. To verify whether you have an OTC benefit, sign into your plan's member portal or dial the member services number on the back of your Medicare card and ask specifically about your OTC benefit balance and how to access it. If the benefit period is quarterly, unused balances typically don't carry over. They expire and reset. Check now so you don't forfeit what's already been allocated to your account. So, here is the complete picture. 5 payouts that belong to people who have already earned them. The spousal benefit supplement that SSA never applies automatically, and millions of couples are missing. The survivor benefit switching strategy that enables you to collect income in your 60s while your own payment grows. The IRMAA appeal that can remove a Medicare surcharge worth thousands per year if your income has decreased since the year SSA is using to calculate it. The WEP and GPO correction payments that are still being processed and may be sitting on your record uncollected, and the Medicare Advantage OTC benefit that is deposited into your account right now and will expire unused if you don't utilize it. None of these come searching for you. The SSA isn't going to call. Your Medicare plan isn't going to alert you when the balance expires. The sole difference between the people who collect this money and the people who don't is understanding it exists and taking one action to secure it. Subscribe. Share this with someone you know who is on Social Security or Medicare, and I'll see you in the next one.